What's up, folks? It is Matt Trigger. I'm the host of Bearded Wholesome All Things Baltimore. This is episode 15 of season 3, and with me today is a college business major, a athlete in the college ranks, and a content creator in the making, TJ McKinley. How you doing, brother?
Hi, how everybody? How y'all doing today?
It's good to have you on the show, TJ. I know we interact a lot on Twitter, man. So, kind of give my listeners a little bit of a background of who you are.
Oh, okay. My name is TJ McKinley. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. TJ Savage. I have a podcast group with a bunch of content creators who are coming up in life, which is the whole goal. Watch I created it. One of them being Matt. I met Matt through Twitter. I'm currently in college, a business major, minor in economics. I don't know what my major gonna be yet. I have to change it because of situations. But yeah, I'm ready to get started. Let's talk NFL.
All right, man. We got a lot of news, going on right now. Before we get started on, some divisional football talk, Deshaun Watson, man. He's looking at a year-long suspension from what the reports have been talking about, if not longer. Um, what are your thoughts on the whole Deshaun Watson debacle going on over in Cleveland right now?
Well, I see he settled with 20 out of 24 women. I don't know if that make him look guilty or not. I don't know. Maybe they just trying to hurry up and get him because the league starting what? Preseason's what? 2 months? Mid-August? So y'all think they just trying to hurry up and get him eligible to play. I don't know if he did or not. I'm not gonna say he did for those who listening. I'm just gonna say I hope he played for the Browns, but I also don't look at everything being sports. It's real life situations that's happening. So my answer is I don't know. We just gonna see. What you think, Matt?
I taking my bias against the Cleveland Browns out of it being a Ravens fan. Innocent people don't necessarily pay off their accusers, and to have the settlements undisclosed and all that looks a little bit bad. I still think that even if things don't go the criminal route in court, I do believe that Goodell is going to suspend him for a lengthy amount of time. I do see it being at least a season, if not one of those temporary, permanent bans that can be renegotiated in a year and a half down the line. Cleveland kind of dropped the ball by just knowing about everything that was going on, and not necessarily, a terrible thing that happened. With him settling out of court. It's just where there's smoke, there's fire, and I believe that Goodell is going to kind of drop the hammer on him.
Yeah, he might get him. He might give him half a season just to set an example for everybody else, so they don't think, oh, if you do this, if he did it allegedly, if you do this, you get free. So he gonna have to use him as an example. Everybody else.
He is gonna use him as an example. It's because this is unprecedented in sort of the number of people that have come forward claiming sexual impropriety on his part. It seems like to kind of play devil's advocate, it seems like it might be overkill in the amount of women that have come forward, but at the same time, it's shown that he does have a problem. And two teams have now known about it, and one team decided to give him $240 million guaranteed. So there's a lot of ramifications on and off the field, and the Cleveland Browns kind of reset the market in terms of how agents are going to approach teams about getting their quarterbacks paid. So that's going to have a long lasting effect.
I'm a Brown fan for everybody who's listening.
Understood. I did not know that. I'm not gonna, bash the guy because, considering in a court of law, he was found not criminally, culpable in these matters. It's more of civil suits at this point. And I mean, you guys, it's one of those things where you got to eat the shitstorm before you can kind of see how you're going to get through it. Now, while we're on the subject of the Cleveland Browns, where does this leave Baker Mayfield?
He gotta go. Period. Trade him. When he get drafted? 2016. I think he don't.
2018.
2018 first pick, first round. Well, of course, first pick. He not had his chance. You had a stacked team. You ran Odell out of Cleveland. I'm not going. I can't say I want to, but you basically got Odell kicked out of Cleveland on some ego. Like it's like you had your chance. You can't throw. We don't see plenty of highlights of him throwing. I'm not bashing. I don't bash players. It's just like it's like Baker just got that guy head. Like he just act like I'm Cleveland, everybody else. So yes, he gotta go. What you think? You being a Ravens fan, what you think?
Here's the thing, though. Obviously, you can't go back to Baker.
Mm-hmm.
That is completely 100% obvious. You can't go back to Baker. I wholeheartedly believe that you guys are going to probably have to rock with Jacoby Brissett until you figure out this Deshaun Watson situation. I think Baker's best bet is to hopefully pray that the Carolina Panthers do eat some of his contract and he goes down there. Maybe you guys can get Sam Darnold in return to kind of offset the quarterback situation. But Baker needs to go somewhere for a year, play his ass off, and then get paid next offseason because somebody's going to pay him money. Seattle, Pittsburgh potentially pay him. Indianapolis could pay him if Matt Ryan's only a 1-year situation. Miami could be in play. Tampa Bay could be in play if Tom Brady only plays this year. So he's going to have options on where he can go. It's just that what are you going to do when you're not going to pay him $18 million to sit at home? So you got to trade him.
Did you see what the Panthers receiver said about Baker? They said they pick him up, they want trades. Carolina's not picking him up.
But the thing is, that's not going to happen. We obviously know. I think they're just holding out, time until they think Matt Corral is ready because they're going to obviously go with him as their quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
So kind of switching gears off of the Cleveland ordeal today, Rob Gronkowski announced his retirement for the second time in 3 years. Where do you think Gronkowski falls as in the pecking order for top tight ends to ever play in the league?
He gonna be top 3 or 5. I'm a max gonna be 5, but minimum gonna be 3, max gonna be 5. He at least gonna be top 3. Who above him? Like John Mackey or somebody?
John Mackey, Ozzie Newsome,
Tony Gonzalez,
Antonio Gates,
Shannon Sharp. Antonio Gates. A lot of people forgive Antonio Gates. It's just them Chargers teams was.
They weren't that good towards the end of his career, but for a while, Antonio Gates was playing with Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson. So they were some good football teams. They just weren't Super Bowl winners. That was just the era of Brady and Manning and Roethlisberger. But yeah, I think he's going to be a top 5 tight end when it's all said and done. He's got 4 Super Bowl rings, 2 different teams. He was a machine. He has, I think, the 3rd most touchdown receptions for a tight end ever in the history of the league. So I think that he's definitely going to be Canton bound. But I don't truly believe this is going to be a long retirement. I think he just doesn't want to do training camp, and I don't think he wants to really worry about the hotter months of the year. If the Bucs are struggling around October, November, I think that Brady makes that call and Gronkowski, comes back because nothing's official until they file that paperwork that they're retired and they can start benefiting from the pension system. So I believe that Gronkowski is just doing this so he doesn't have to do 2-a-days in that Florida heat. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm at with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if Gronk retired, y'all know Brady retiring. Like they one and the same. Like we all know most of the stats Brady got, half of that or 75% of that come from Gronk. So their success is kind of linear considering that 4 out of
7 Super Bowls that Brady have come with Gronk. So
Mm-hmm.
as his main, pretty much his main passing target. So kind of moving on from the Tom Brady Gronk talk, the AFC West has been very active this offseason, and they look like they're a loaded division. Now, on paper, it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs have regressed in terms of player talent. They lost Tyreek Hill in a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they signed Valdez Scantling. They signed Juju Smith-Schuster. They drafted Sky Moore in the second round of the draft this year. And they have Justin Ross, who was an incredible undrafted free agent. He probably should have been drafted somewhere in the third or fourth round. Um, that's pretty much what they've been up to this year. They didn't really restock their defense. They let Tyrann Mathieu go. Honey Badger's now a New Orleans Saint.
Mm-hmm.
The Denver Broncos traded away their immediate future for the next couple of years for Russell Wilson, and they traded away Noah Fant in the process. The Oakland Raiders traded for Devontae Adams, and they gave Hunter Renfrow an extension. They signed Chandler Jones. They traded Yannick Ngakoue. And then the Chargers went and got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. And it's just like it seemed like every day during the start of free agency in mid-March, it was a team in the AFC West just trying to one-up each other. Who do you see not making the playoffs in the AFC West?
No, first off, Denver is not making the playoffs. I need all Denver fans to quit gassing up Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. Okay, Russell Wilson good. The team is not there. So I need Broncos fans to come down a few notches. What's the other team? Kansas City. I need y'all to upgrade y'all defense. Like, y'all have this thing where they always focus on we need offense. That's why y'all be y'all went to like 2 Super Bowls.
But,
y'all focus on defense.
I get it to a degree, TJ. I do. I get it, man. But at the end of the day, they're still the Kansas City Chiefs, and as long as they got number 15 back there throwing the football, they're still going to be dangerous. And Travis Kelce's still, a really good tight end.
Getting old.
He's getting old, but he's still producing. And I think that the Denver Broncos, they're going to be disappointed if they give Russell Wilson a huge extension. I know they signed Randy Gregory from the Dallas Cowboys to help their defense, but the Chargers are the most confusing team to me because I saw the Chargers last year. They now, other than adding Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, they're relatively the same. 1 week they would look like they're an all-world football team, and then they would have games like when they came to Baltimore, and we put up 35 on them, and they didn't even score a touchdown. So, Justin Herbert has this hype around him that is, quite frankly, a little overhyped.
I don't be seeing it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. People say that he's a top 5 quarterback in the league, but he's not even the second or third best quarterback in his division.
Who be saying that?
Just seeing it on TV, seeing it on social media, so it's just kind of one of those things where, that Herbert just gets his hype because he had a pretty good rookie year. He had a decent year last year. He was very up and down. But so far they haven't made any noise in the playoffs with Justin Herbert.
No, they haven't.
So to me, until they make the playoffs and make some noise, he's just going to be all hype. Joe Burrow, his second full year starting as a quarterback, he went to the Super Bowl. He lost, but at the same time, they're from the same draft class, and people were wondering who was going to, be the guy. And Herbert, hasn't really shown that he's capable of getting to the playoffs on a consistent basis so far. And I'm curious about Las Vegas because this is the most loaded their offense has ever been. They got Josh Jacobs going into a contract year. You got Kenyon Drake at running back. You got Darren Waller at tight end. You got Devontae Adams in that offense now with his college quarterback. So that's going to be something to watch. This is the year where Derek Carr needs to make a deep run, because if not, Las Vegas might have to look somewhere else, because Derek Carr might be the guy that can get you there but can't get you over the hump.
Who's that head coach?
Josh McDaniels from the New England Patriots, the offensive coordinator. So
He's
now
back,
they're going to
he's back in the AFC West.
He's back in the AFC West as a head coach again. I know the last time he was a head coach over there, that was
Denver.
Denver in the 2010s. Yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at with that. Everybody, the Ravens fan base is always like, oh man, why don't we have all of this money to do all this? Not everybody, is going to mortgage their future for just that, for a quick fix. Some teams do want to build their draft, and that's going to be in a wide open, division. 3 teams can make the playoffs from that division, or 1 team can make the playoffs. You'll never know, because there's a lot of good teams in the AFC this year. Tennessee's going to be good again, even though they lost A.J. Brown. And then Indy has Matt Ryan. There's rumors that Julio Jones is going to follow him to Indianapolis.
I thought they already signed him.
It hasn't been official yet. I know that he was there. I know that he was there visiting. So there's always, Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. The AFC North is always a dogfight every single year, no matter how it shakes out. That's always, a division that's always decided in week 16 or 17. And then in the AFC East, you got Miami, who is absolutely reloading. They've got arguably the fastest wide receiver group in the entire league, with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They've signed Melvin Gordon. I believe they signed Melvin Gordon, but Chase Edmonds. They signed Chase Edmonds from the Arizona Cardinals. It's just going to be, the AFC East is going to be a shootout, man. Buffalo's still over there. The Jets have gotten really good. They had a really good draft this year. 3 first-round picks, and they've reloaded. They got Mekhi Becton coming back, that left tackle, who is an absolute stud. He's coming back from injury.
Times change.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Patriots been done with that for like 2.5 decades. Now Buffalo could be number 1. Miami could be number 1. They actually got a chance.
and the thing is, you can't count out the Patriots while Bill Belichick is a coach over there. But out of all the teams we've been talking about, man, I know that we haven't really talked about the NFC a whole lot. Who do you think is one of your dark horse teams? Who's a team that you think might make some noise this year that not a lot of people are paying attention to?
NFC.
I mean, AFC, NFC, it don't matter. I mean, who do you think is going to surprise people this year?
I got the Colts. The Colts is one of them teams that you've seen through recent years. They got the big. Okay, scratch the names they got. We know they got Stephon Gilmore, Matt Ryan, all them. They have a overall veteran young team. The only problem I see with the Colts is them older guys getting injured because all them years of playing. Some of them might be bust now. So the Colts, I think, is a sleeper team because everybody's sleeping on the Colts. The Colts problem is Matt Ryan gonna have do he still have an arm?
That's a fair assessment, and I think the only thing that's going to help Matt Ryan is the fact that he's playing for another dome team, so he's not going to be exposed to the elements. And Indianapolis gets really cold throughout the course of the year, so I really think that that's going to help him with his arm strength and all of that. Going into the colder months, it might be a little bit easier for him to really make an impact. And if Julio follows him over there, that's going to be a perfect compliment to Michael Pittman Jr., who's an absolute, fantastic young wide receiver.
Jonathan Taylor's running back.
Jonathan Taylor's a really good running back. I'm kind of curious to see if that was a one-year wonder type of situation, or if he's going to be that good again next year, because the quarterback situation is a little bit different. It's not Carson Wentz leaning on Taylor. So Matt Ryan's a lot better than Carson Wentz at this point in both of their careers. I believe that that's going to be a more balanced attack, even though you can't ignore feeding Taylor. He's still going to produce for you. It's just going to be, like you said, is Matt Ryan going to be able to last a whole 17-game season?
Who you got?
My team this year, barring him actually showing up to camp and playing well, the San Francisco 49ers. And I know they're a good team. They made it far last year, but I think that this is the year. I think that kid Trey Lance is going to be good. And I think that he's going to be good enough to where he's going to propel them into the NFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl. They got a fantastic defense. They had a great draft. If Trey Lance doesn't work out, you still got Jimmy Garoppolo there. So you can always fall back to Jimmy G. He's steady. I don't see them trading Garoppolo. If anything, they might release him. But I just truly believe that San Francisco's a team to watch out for. Of course, there's the teams, the Packers, the Rams, the Buccaneers. I'm actually interested in seeing how the New Orleans Saints are going to do this year in the NFC because, if they can get that quarterback situation figured out, they got a really good offense. And it also depends on if Alvin Kamara is going to get suspended or not for the fight that he had in Vegas with that knocking that guy out.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about that. What?
It was just one of those situations where he was out with his friends. He was drunk. There was an altercation, and he knocked the dude clean out. And it was unfortunate, but I believe that it wasn't anything, completely malicious. I think he's going to get something. He might get 6 games because Goodell, he makes the final call on all the conduct suspensions in the NFL. I don't think he's going to suspend him for a whole year, but I think he's going to give him 8, and then they'll negotiate down to 6 through arbitration, maybe 5 games. So Kamara might not be seen until like October, mid-October at the latest.
And the Saints got salary cap issues they definitely need to fix.
They fixed most of them for the most part. They restructured a lot of guys. They got rid of some guys. The Ravens signed their free safety, Marcus Williams. They let a couple of other veterans go. They managed to keep their mainstays. Taron Armstead, their left tackle, they let him walk, and he signed with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, same.
And that's going to be a good offensive line in front of Tua. Hopefully this year Tua either produces or they find somebody else. I'm actually convinced that he's the lesser of the Tua of the Tagovailoa brothers. His brother plays at Maryland up here, and he's a really good young quarterback that's going to be coming out next year with the rest of the guys. But I like New Orleans and I like San Francisco next year. As my kind of surprise teams.
Philly, another one.
Philly's going to be good. They had a fantastic draft. They addressed a lot of their needs. They traded for A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans. So I believe that's they fixed a lot of situations, and that division is for the taking because the Giants aren't good. Washington can't get out of their own way, and their only competition in the NFC East right now is Dallas. And Dallas is stuck in mediocrity with that quarterback. I think Dak Prescott is $40 million of mediocrity.
Why you think so? Every podcast I don't been don't lie. Every podcast I don't been on this year, they said they don't like that. So I'm gonna ask you, like I asked them, why? What you see wrong with that?
Okay, here's the situation. Now I know the NFL football is a team game. Okay, but look at Dak Prescott is a good fantasy football quarterback. I'll give him that. If you want to win your fantasy league, Dak Prescott needs to be one of your quarterbacks that you take. But think about his offense that he's had the last 2 or 3 years. It's comparable to Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
He had Amari Cooper in his prime. He had Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, an incredible offensive line.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott. He had I believe his name is Schultz, the tight end, Dalton Schultz.
Mm-hmm. The dude behind Zeke, what's his name? Pollard, Tony.
Yeah, Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard.
And then you on defense, you had all rookie sensation Micah Parsons. You had Vander Esch. You have Lawrence up front. So you have the pieces, but at the same time, you're not going anywhere. You're hitting the playoffs and you're getting the shit kicked out of you and you're getting eliminated your first game. Mm-hmm. And to me, you gave the man $40 million guaranteed per year and you have nothing to show for it. Now you ran Amari Cooper out of town. He's now a Cleveland Brown. Mm-hmm. And you got nothing for him. Cleveland gave up nothing for Amari Cooper. I think it was a 4th or a 5th round pick at the most.
Yeah, something like that.
So you don't have him anymore. CeeDee Lamb is your now number 1 receiver. Gallup.
I don't think I like that.
Gallup tore his ACL. So you have all these situations going on. The offensive line is getting old.
Yes.
They're all, pushing 30 or over 30. You don't know what, Lyle Collins is gone. He's a Cincinnati Bengal. Mm-hmm. So there's all these factors going on. And it's like, while you had that team, Dak didn't produce when it mattered. And everybody can make excuses. Football is nothing but a what-if game for things going your way or not going your way. We all know that. Mm-hmm. Just like with you guys had an offense that should have put up 45 points a game for a solid 2 years, maybe 3. Your offense still has Chubb. You have Kareem Hunt. You got Njoku. You got Amari Cooper now.
Decent online.
Your offensive line is good. I'm an offensive line. I played offensive line from the time I was 9 until the time I was 21. Mm-hmm. I pay attention to the offensive line. You guys got a good offensive line. Batonio is a monster. You guys remain relatively healthy up front, which is hard to do for a whole stretch. You guys had a couple injuries here or there, but you guys are a collectively good offensive line. And you got arguably the second best pass rusher in football,
Myles Garrett.
I the only one I put above him is TJ Watt, and it pains me to say that. Maybe the Bosa brothers are up there, but I see TJ Watt twice a year and Myles Garrett twice a year, and they wreak havoc. And you guys had that window where you had that team assembled to win a championship and didn't get it done, and it had to do with your quarterback. I equate the Dallas Cowboys situation to the 2019-2020 Cleveland Browns situation where you had all the pieces together, you had all the playmakers available, and then the person throwing the ball isn't getting the job done. How do you feel about that? Do you see the similarities, or am I just making something out of nothing?
No, you're saying some real stuff. I'm understanding what you're saying. It's just I personally don't watch the Cowboys. I'm gonna say Cowboys since we on air. The Cowboys. So I just know every podcast I've been on, not nobody like that. They all got some of the stuff you said I don't heard, and some of that is new. But it's like everybody got the same thing. Dak needs to go.
It's not even about Dak needing to go. It's just it's about he has not delivered on that contract that he signed. He reset the quarterback market at one point in time, and he's not delivering on that contract. And then on top of that, you're paying over $70 million to Zeke. And what has Zeke done? He's fallen off considerably. I know he's been banged up, but at what point are you going to have to cut your losses on a $15-16 million a year running back? That's unheard of in today's game. Not many of those running backs get paid like that anymore because a lot of these offenses you can plug and play and pay 3 running backs to do what Zeke does by himself. And you arguably have somebody that's almost as good as Zeke playing behind him.
Yeah, Tony is Pollard.
Tony Pollard starts on 10 other teams right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a crazy concept. So I know that we've talked plenty on Twitter, man, and we're in some of the content sharing groups and the podcasting groups. Where are you at right now with your process? Kind of getting away from the NFL, man. Where are you at with your process for your content creation? Like, I know that there's roadblocks to being a college student. You're changing your major. You're changing schools. What is it like for you to constantly figure out ways to continue your content creation without, hitting that mental block or, thinking like, oh shit, maybe this isn't working out? Like, what's your thought process for the content creation on your end?
I'm glad you're the first person that asked it just like that. I'm so proud of that. Let's see. My mom has always pushed me to be headstrong and never to be weak-minded. So she always pushed me, don't focus on one thing, focus on everything. Her name is Shantae McKinley. Y'all can follow her at Miss Shantae. But yeah, she already pushed me. So I've never been a person to get stuck. I always push past the haters and the doubters, and you do it before people be judging you, trying to hold you back. I'm going through that right now. I'm not gonna speak on it, but she always told me just keep doing you, always be you, because people like you, like y'all, go give me the opportunity and chance. And I know a lot of people have been shouting me out and all that, talk about thanks TJ. I've had some people hit me in the DMs like thanks TJ, put me in the group. I'm getting sponsorship now. They don't want me to say no names, of course, but
no, obviously,
I'm only 20, and these like, how old are you?
I'm 33.
I'm only 20, and I'm a 20 native black kid. These are like grown dudes, like 34 years old. Like I wouldn't even thought of that. Like you need to some of them. I got some people hit me up about business right now as we talk about. They want to help me with my business. What's it called? Internships and all that. Mm-hmm. So it's just like I don't get mental block. I just take it all in and I try to thrive, even though I have those in my way. But I have more people helping me than going against me, which I like. Like you're helping me than going against me. So
well here, I mean, the thing is with this whole situation is, I haven't necessarily had people shit talk me, or talk bad about me on social media, especially Twitter or anything like that. I've had mostly positive feedback, some negative,
No.
I'm doing the podcasting, but you also know that I write for Stadium Rant, and you see a lot of the articles I put out. Everybody thinks they got an opinion on sports, and they think that they're smarter than the next person. My biggest situation is that people do tear each other down on social media. And the thing is, me and you are content creators, but at the same time, my content is completely different from what yours is going to be. You'll talk all sports. I'm mainly football, a little bit of baseball. I'm on some pro wrestling shows, so I do all that. And then I have my non-sports guests. It's just a very oversaturated market with sports podcasting. And you got to kind of find something that separates you from everybody else. And being is that you're so young, you are a different generation. You're the generation after me. So my generation coming up for social media, I had to learn MySpace and Facebook and like Instagram, so like now there's TikTok and there's Snapchat and there's all these different social media aspects. You guys live through social media a lot more. I kind of had to teach myself as I got into my late 20s and my early 30s. But I can understand that there's a lot of people that are, probably in your mentions, in your DMs, and all that. But what do you take away from the, like, what is the most positive aspect of the content creation for you personally? What do you take away from it that's the most positive?
Doing this, like podcasts and all that.
Anything in terms of social media content.
I try to stay I try to keep everybody. Well, not like I'm controlling, but I want everybody to build everybody else up. Network. I want everybody to help each other. I don't like when one person or two people act like, oh, I did all this. Oh, I saved y'all and all that. I don't like that. I like it like that's why I created podcast groups. I had more than one, but I seen all these dudes, one man too. Y'all was doing podcasts. I'm like, don't nobody follow each other, don't nobody know each other. So I was like, let me put everybody to one. Now everybody on each other's podcasts. Everybody help each other out. Everybody getting sponsored. That's how I like it. And me being a business major, I'm gonna have to do that anyway. So this is like me being in training. Let's say
that. That's a good way to think about it, TJ, because you're getting on the job training and you're getting your experience and what you want to do with yourself after college while you're still in college. So it's kind of like you're getting internships by helping people produce, helping people create content and all that stuff. Not to kind of spoil anything for my listeners and potentially your listeners, since you're tagged and everything. When do you think your podcast is going to be launched to where you're not just doing guest features and the podcast grouping, which is an incredible prospect, because when we're in the DMs talking to each other every day and we're giving each other ideas and we're bouncing stuff off each other, we're coming on each other's shows, that is networking at its finest. And you helped build one of our groups up to where I think we're 35, 40 deep in that one group you made.
70.
And, okay, so it's even more now. It was, I see, I'm in a couple of different groups, and I know that you created one of them, and it was really, a good thing. When do you see yourself launching your podcast? Are you thinking maybe the fall, end of the summer? What are you looking at, man, in terms of the timeline? Do you have anything like mapped out yet, or are you just kind of going with the flow?
I'm gonna answer right now, going with the flow. I'm gonna let you know in the DMs in the future.
No problem.
Earlier.
I know. I told you. I've told you even through messaging and all that. Whenever you're ready, to launch. I'll help you out in any way possible, man. I do appreciate you coming on the show, TJ. It's been great talking to you. You're a fantastic young man, and you did a really good thing with the podcasting group. And before I let you go, man, tell people where they can find you on social media.
This is at Mr. TJ Savage. You can find me on Twitter, of course, at Mr. TJ Savage. I'm a business major. My minor is economics. Anybody who want to do business or need an internship, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter. I have a few already. So, yeah, and anybody who want me on the guest of the podcast, just hit me up. And follow Matt podcast.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, TJ. Have a good night, man. Tell your mom I said hello, and I'll be in contact with you, brother.
All right.